الله أكبر الله أكبر
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, respected viewers. You are welcome to another episode of the program Islam and Society, coming to you on MTA Sierra Leone Studios. Islam and Society is a program scheduled to identify those political, social, economic, moral, and spiritual problems that are affecting the growth of the African society and the workable solutions that are provided by Islam to those problems. Today, we are going to look at the topic, right of orphans. And to make this program a success, I have two brothers from the Ahmadiyya Muslim community in Sierra Leone. On my immediate right, we have Brother Hamid Bangura Sahib, and on my extreme right, we have Brother Mualai Fona Sahib. Brothers, welcome to the program Islam and Society. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Respected viewers, as we have heard, the topic of today's discussion is the right of orphans. Orphans are those who have lost either of their parent or both of their parents. And before we could get to our panelists, we want to hear from the people outside their opinion on this very topic.
My daddy, at the age of 3 months, I lost him. I lost Sabiam. I don't even know him. Past Sabiam on dream. Then my mama, at the age of 18 years, I lost him. And the way how me survive is very hard for me. And I've been living with one of my auntie, me a slave, because I've been living the last person for sleep, me the first person for wake. So they use me anyhow. They use me to pass. I end up for give up. I go on the street. The street are there now. I will survive till I reach so now. So now, if anybody say orphan, they take off them. Only the lucky one them, but the highest, na street and they will suffer, and will plenty.
My honest opinion towards it is that orphans do suffer a lot, because you losing your loved one is a kind of tragedy that is hard for you to forget. And if they feel that they are being ignored by the society, that can cause you to do a lot of things that you don't want to do, that a lot of bad things. So if they have the rights to be protected, taken care of, we make them feel belong, I guess that will help them.
Salon in generally, orphan, they need to take care of them, because even if you take a look now, okay, take a stroll, go to the orphanage them all, go take interview of them, then they tell you say they strain, go now all orphanage OMM places them. Then they take care of them. Now, few like this Ramadan, this month of Ramadan, now you go see people, them Muslims, them. Then they move to them, orphanage them, go and give them small donation them. They will be said Ramadan. It hardly for let see them.
You want me to say because I go through this pain, we no get parents. One for me get good education, easy. We get possible go support you, full support like where your parents and they will able help you down there for me educate to be somebody, easy. So I know what it down there cost. So I dey appeal for the orphan then. Do you have anybody who get opportunity? Make them concentrate for the help the orphan then.
Mashallah, we have heard the opinion of the general public, and we would like to get a brief response from our panelists, and I want to start with Move Hamid Sahi. What is your take on the general opinion on the topic of discussion today, the right of orphans?
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Yes, Movi Sahib. Indeed, we have heard the opinion of the public, and of course, what they have witnessed, what they are seeing is what they have commented on. And so I would not want to disagree with them totally, because it's happening in the society. And never mind, religion also provides solutions to that. And Islam is full of guidance. The Holy Quran is full of guidance for the Muslims and for the entire mankind, and does not actually leave the issue pertaining to orphans just like that. It is a responsibility that is bound on the societies, on the community, on the people themselves. So there are guidance in the Holy Quran. So I can say, as a result of not following the commandments of Allah the Almighty, is that everything is happening as we are seeing it in our societies.
That is it. If they are not following the injunctions of the Holy Quran or Islam, then such problem will arise. Yeah, Movi Molasai, what is your take?
Yes, Maurice, as we've listened to the views of the public, I think I agree with them to some extent that a large number of the orphans are being neglected or are not properly taken care of. But this might be as a result of the governments in Africa cannot afford to take care of those orphans due to the poor nature of the continent as a whole. So my suggestion to that is I implore non-governmental organizations, religion organizations, that to come on board to give a helping hand to support government in taking care of these orphans so that they can eradicate whatever is the bad habits or activities that these orphan children are engaged in.
MashaAllah, Jazakallah khairan. Now, we would like to get into the program proper. You know, UNICEF produced documents here inciting that about 100 million orphans worldwide exist. That in Africa alone, 5,700 people become orphans on daily basis. And that is to say, in every 50 minutes, a child becomes an orphan. And the highlighted series of reasons, you know, that are taking the children into orphanhood, like war, starvation, and natural disasters, illness, disease, and the rest. So with this, we would like to hear from Movi Hamid Sahib. What is the Quran perspective on the right of orphan?
Yes, Mavi Sahib, Jazakumullah. Indeed, in the Holy Quran, Allah the Almighty has given so many warnings, as the fourth Caliph said in his book, Absolute Justice, Kindness, and Kinship, that the Holy Quran has repeatedly warned about the rights of orphans and said that the responsibility of the orphans has been laid upon the society, and that it also gives special attention to the rights of the orphans. And there is no other book in the world that has given this type of teachings you can find in the world rather than the Holy Quran itself. This verse of Surah An-Nisa, chapter 4, verse 7, says that, and test the understanding of the orphans until they attain the age of marriage. Then, if you find in them sound judgments, deliver to them their property, and devour it not in extravagance, and haste against their growing up. And whoso is rich, let him abstain, and whoso is poor, let him eat thereof with equity. And when you deliver to them their property, then call witnesses in their presence, and Allah is sufficient as a reckoner. This verse has laid clear injunctions to the entire mankind, to the Muslims, how the orphans should be taken care of, and also has cleared the way of suspicion on the path of the orphan and also the caretaker, that when a witness is called upon, so nobody has any suspicion, any ambiguity against the two parties, either the orphan or the one who takes care of him when he delivers the property to the orphans, which clearly shows that they should be taken care of like children. In fact, like they are your children, they are your brethren.
Mashallah, that is very wonderful. The Holy Quran has presented, you know, the right of the orphan, and not only that, but also the guidance of the orphan, and has pointed out that they are our brethren. They are part of us. We should take care of them. We should be generous to them. We should respect them. And we should take very good care of their property until they reach manhood or womanhood, until they are fully matured and they can well take care of their own property before we can hand over to them. And even with that, we should call on witnesses to be present to see when we are passing over their resources to them. Jazakallah khairan. And we want to hear from Movi Mwela Sahib. Since Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was an orphan and he received these injunctions in the Holy Quran, what was his own personal take on the right of orphans?
Jazakumullah Ahsana Jaza, Mawsab, as you rightly said, the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu was partially born an orphan. As we all know, history tells us his father passed away shortly before his birth. And shortly also after his birth, his mother also happens to pass away. So he spends his entire life an orphan. So on that note, he was very much passionate about taking care of the orphans. He gives series of injunctions as to how those people who are whether near relatives of the children of their deceased relatives, as to how they should take care of them. Emphasis were laid, and I will present few ahadiths wherein the Prophet has laid down the rules and what are some of the benefits that the person who is the guardian of an orphan will gain if actually he executes his duties as is required of him by the Almighty Allah and by the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The very first hadith that I will present is the hadith wherein the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam stated, say, I and the person who took the orphans are in heaven like this. He hinted with both thumbs, that is the index fingers and the middle finger, that he demonstrated to the Sahabas that whoever takes care of an orphan with the fear of Almighty in his mind, in his heart, and with the dictates of the injunctions of the Holy Quran, that person, one of the reward that he will have is him having or living in a very close proximity with the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in paradise. In another hadith, the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam stated, said, a person who puts a compassionate hand on the head of an orphan boy or girl merely for the sake of God will be rewarded with virtues in exchange of every single hair on the head on which his sympathetic hand was placed. So this is an enormous task that has been entrusted upon the Muslims or the believers at large, that this is not just a simple task. You just execute it the way you want it. You must follow it with the injunctions that have been laid down in the Holy Quran in order for you to be richly rewarded. So in essence, the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has strictly advised as to how a believer or a Muslim should take care of the orphans. Because him being an orphan, he knows what it means to become an orphan. So that is why he was very much passionate, and guiding principles were laid down as to how believers and Muslims should take care of orphans.
MashaAllah. Jazakallah khairan. You have made us learn that the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not only emphasize the upbringing of orphan child in a lovely manner, but even to have fun, because by playing with the orphan child, that counts charitable work, and it earns your rewards. And I would like to come over to Movi Hamid Sahib. What do you think is the state of orphans in African society?
Yes, Movi Sahib. Well, speaking on social basis, with the establishment of the orphanages institution, we find out that children living in those institutions, their psychosocial well-being is very low, and this is as a result of lack of interaction. They are not given the privilege or chance to socialize with others, to interact with others. Furthermore, we also see that depression, anxiety, and much more, where children within these orphanages are 3.5 times more likely to suffer mental disorders, okay, compared to the children living with their families. Spiritually, these orphan children, like the solutions often provided by the Western charities, churches, and non-governmental organizations, they are all institution-based care, and it is not sufficient and it is ineffective. This method of supporting the orphan is more likely causing immense repercussions to the children's physical, cognitive, and social health, you know. So it is very clear that their religious aspect as well also drops, because like whereby in the case a Christian man will come, a pastor, or let me say the Christian will come with their aid, they will start to talk to them and try to indoctrinate them or give them the teachings. Okay, after which the Muslim community will also come. So you find out that they will end up without religion, because they will go with whatever set of people that comes their way with aid. You understand? So this is the situation here in Africa with the establishment of these orphanages, that it caused this kind of negative impacts on the orphans.
Jazakallah khairan, Mufti Sahib. You have really brought to our minds that the state of orphans in Africa is worrisome, because they are now in a state of oblivion where they could not decide their future very well. Because before this time, the family members used to come in, you know, to take care of the orphans, but that is no longer the case. We are now having orphanage, you know, those institutions established most of the time by Christian movements or any other Western organizations. In this way, they don't, you know, pay much attention to their cultural differences, to their religious background. So if the person coming with the aid is a Muslim, it has to introduce the child, you know, to the Muslim way. Or if the person is coming from a Christian background, so they have to convert their attention into their own creed. This can create confusion. At the same time, they are not moving well within the society. Like even in those orphanages, there is less amusement, there's less play, there is less interaction with people. So this has negative impact on their psychosocial and their cognitive development. I think it's a very big concern, but we can move over to Mufti Maulai Sahib to hear from him what he's going to say.
In Africa, in some cases, being an orphan opens the door to poverty for that orphan child or those orphan children. In some cases, it does happen that when the parent of the children pass on, what happens? Other relatives will come around and siphon all the properties that were left behind by the deceased parent. Sometimes even the elderly siblings of that family would deprive the younger ones access to the properties, the wealth that are left behind by their deceased parents. So those children has to go through untold punishment, untold hardship throughout their lives, because what rightfully belongs to them has been already taken away from them by wicked relatives or family friends who will come and then seize advantage of the immature age of those children at the time of the death of their parents. So this has become alarming in the African society, and it is common in the African society. It has been happening, and still it is happening. So unless people look this thing on the religious lens, then there will still continue to be problems.
That is very serious. That the states of orphans in Africa, they are losing fast, their economic support. Even the rights of inheritance they are being deprived of. And if they are not properly looked after, what will happen? They have to go astray. That can lead to drop out of school. That can lead to violent life. That can lead to anxiety. That can lead to drug addicts and so many vices. If that is the problem, it's so alarming in Africa, what could be the solution to this problem? So we would like to take everyone over to the worldwide head of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad. May Allah be his helper for his guidance in this regard.
اللہ تعالیٰ فرماتا ہے کہ یتیم اور مسکینوں کا خیال رکھو. یہ ایک بہت اہم کام ہے جس کی طرف ہر احمدی کو توجہ دینی چاہیے. اگر خود کسی یتیم کو نہیں بھی جانتے تو جماعت میں یتامہ فنڈ ہے، اس میں زیادہ سے زیادہ حصہ لینا چاہیے. عید کی خوشیوں میں یتیموں کو شامل کریں. اس مد میں چندہ دینا چاہیے. حضرت صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم نے یتیم کی پرورش کرنے کی اہمیت کو بیان کرتے ہوئے فرمایا کہ میرا اور یتیم کی پرورش کرنے والا میں اور یتیم کی پرورش کرنے والا جنت میں یوں اکٹھے ہوں گے جیسے ہاتھ کی دو انگلیاں اکٹھی ہوتی ہیں. انہوں نے اشارہ کر کے فرمایا انگلیوں کا. بس یہ جاری نیکیاں ہی ہیں، اس میں بھی ضرور شامل ہونا چاہیے. اسی طرح جماعت میں اور بھی امداد کے بعض فنڈ ہیں، شادی فنڈ ہے، مریضوں کے فنڈ ہیں، طلباء کی تعلیم کے فنڈ ہیں. اس میں جن کو توفیق ہو حصہ لینا چاہیے. پھر مسکینوں کی پرورش کی طرف بھی توجہ دلائیے. اللہ تعالیٰ فرماتا ہے کہ مومن اللہ تعالیٰ کی رضا کے لیے یتیموں اور مسکینوں کو کھانا کھلاتے ہیں. حضرت صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم نے بھی فرمایا کہ اگر تو چاہتا ہے کہ تیرا دل نرم ہو جائے تو مساکین کو کھانا کھلا اور یتیم کے سر پر ہاتھ رکھ. بس نیکیوں کی توفیق ملنے اور اللہ تعالیٰ کی رضا حاصل کرنے کے لیے یہ خدمت خلق کے کام ایک مومن کو اپنے پر فرض کرنے چاہیے. اور عیدوں کے موقع پر خاص طور پر اس کا خیال آنا چاہیے. اور یہ مدد صرف عیدوں کے دن کے لیے نہیں بلکہ جن کو توفیق ہے مستقل انہیں کرتے رہنا چاہیے. اسی طرح اگر کسی غریب نے اس مال میں سے یتیم کی پرورش کے لیے خرچ کیا ہے تو بلوغ کو پہنچنے پر تمام حساب کتاب جو ہے ایک ایک پائی کا اسے دو. اور یہ حساب کتاب دیتے وقت گواہ بھی بنا لیا کرو تاکہ کسی وقت بدظنی پیدا نہ ہو. یتیم کے دل میں کبھی رنجش نہ آئے، کیونکہ بعض دفعہ بعد میں یتیم کے دل میں وسوسے بھی آ سکتے ہیں، یا بعض دفعہ بعض اوقات بعض لوگ یتیموں کے ہمدرد بن کر یا اس کسی شخص کے ہمدرد بن کر جو یتیم ہے اس کے دل میں وسوسے ڈال سکتے ہیں. اسی لیے اللہ تعالیٰ نے انسانی فطرت کو سامنے رکھتے ہوئے کہا کہ جب بھی یتیم کا مال لوٹاؤ تو پورا حساب دو اور اس پر گواہ بنا لو، کیونکہ یہ نگران کو بھی کسی ابتلا سے بچانے کے لیے ضروری ہے اور یتیم کو بھی کسی بدظنی سے بچانے کے لیے ضروری ہے. بس جس تفصیل سے قرآن کریم میں یتیموں کے حقوق کے بارے میں حکم دیا گیا ہے کہیں اور نہیں دیا گیا، اس طرح کسی اور شرعی کتاب میں نہیں. اسے ایک آیت میں تقریباً 7 بنیادی باتیں بیان کی گئی ہیں. پہلی بات یہ کہ یتیموں کو آزماتے رہو، ان کی تعلیم و تربیت کی طرف توجہ دو اور دیکھو کہ وہ ترقی کی طرف قدم بڑھ رہے ہیں کہ نہیں. دوسری بات یہ کہ ان کی تعلیم و تربیت کی طرف توجہ خاص طور پر ان کے بالغ ہونے تک رہے، یہ نہیں کہ راستے میں چھوڑ دینا. تیسری بات یہ کہ جب بھی وہ اپنے مال کی حفاظت کے قابل ہو جائیں تو ان کا مال انہیں فوری طور پر واپس لوٹا دو. چوتھی بات یہ کہ یتیم کا مال صرف اس پر خرچ ہو، تم نے اس سے مفاد نہیں اٹھانا. اور پانچویں بات یہ کہ امیر آدمی اگر کسی یتیم کی پرورش کر رہا ہے تو اس کے لیے بالکل جائز نہیں کہ وہ یتیم کی پرورش کے لیے اس یتیم کے مال میں سے کچھ لے. اور چھٹی بات یہ کہ غریب جس کے وسائل نہیں ہیں اور وہ کسی یتیم کا نگران بنایا جاتا ہے تو یتیم کے مال میں سے مناسب طور پر اس کو خرچ کرنے کی اجازت ہے. اور ساتویں بات یہ کہ جب مال لوٹاؤ تو اس پر گواہ بنا لو تاکہ نہ تمہاری نیت میں کبھی کھوٹ آئے، نہ تم پر کبھی کوئی الزام لگے، اور نہ یتیم کے دل میں بدظنی پیدا ہو. اور آخر میں فرمایا کہ اللہ تعالیٰ تمہیں ہر وقت دیکھ رہا ہے، اس سے کوئی چیز پوشیدہ نہیں، تمہاری نیتوں کا بھی اسے پتہ ہے. اس لیے یاد رکھو کہ اگر یہ حساب کتاب نہیں رکھو گے تو پھر تمہارا بھی ایک دن حساب ہونا ہے. اللہ تعالیٰ کے فضل سے جماعت میں بھی یتیموں کا خیال رکھا جاتا ہے. افریقہ اور بعض ممالک میں احمدی یتیم بچوں کے علاوہ غیر جماعت اور عیسائیوں کے بچوں کا بھی خرچ برداشت کرتی ہے جماعت. لیکن اس وقت میں پاکستان کے حوالے سے جو یتامہ کی خبرگیری کی جو تحریک ہے اس کا احاطہ کرنا چاہتا ہوں. اللہ تعالیٰ کے فضل سے پاکستان میں یکسر یتامہ کمیٹی کام کر رہی ہے. یہ حضرت خلیفۃ المسیح رابع نے 1999 میں جوبلی سال میں جو شکرانے کے طور پر اس وقت تحریک فرمائی تھی کہ 100 یتیموں کا ہم خیال رکھیں گے.
As we have heard from the worldwide head of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community that the right of orphan should not be stepped upon. We should give them their full right, and with that, the Ahmadiyya Muslim community is having the orphan institution here to take care of the orphan. It's a scheme, Yatama Fund, wherein the needs of the orphans, are properly cared of. And at the same time, this help is not only given to Ahmadi Muslims or to Muslims, it's given to humanity as a whole, be you Muslim or not. And that there is another institution in the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, Humanity First, when the worldwide head of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community addressing them, he emphasized to them that they should go in search of orphans who are in need, not only Muslims, but the non-Muslims as well. So this could be our assignment, to go in search of those needy people, go in search of the orphans, so that we can help to improve their lives, and by improving their life, we improve our society. This is all time could permit us to present to you. We are very grateful for your time. Thank you for watching. Until we meet again, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allahu Akbar.